Really super.
All right, and we're back.
With who?
I don't know. MJ. Michael Jordan.
Michael's.
And welcome back to the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Sup?
What's going on?
Same old.
What's new?
Just over here torturing myself with the new milestone file, you know.
Oh yeah, but it's gonna look good when you finish.
It better. I've invested a lot into it.
Do we want to tell the people what it is?
No, let's surprise them.
We'll surprise them. Okay.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for a new file.
Yep.
It'll be a milestone.
I don't know that anybody is gonna buy because it is like intense, but it's awesome. At least I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So,
once you show them the finish.
Yeah. It's very niche, so I could see it not selling, but I'm making it as a gift, and I don't know how to do anything small. Right. So here we are.
Here we are. We have a new subscriber.
We do. We have a new patron, and also at the big spender level that, you know, again, we didn't think anybody would
and surprisingly
choose.
Everyone's
and yep, all four of our patrons so far have chosen that level. And the person is Kathy Ray.
Kathy Ray, shouts out to you.
She is actually also a moderator with me in the That Mom with the Laser group.
Okay. And
she's in California, and the knowledge she has is like, it's huge. She's the reason I'm able to defocus my engraves on my machine without having to manually move down the bed. Because she figured out how to do it in Lightburn and then gave everybody instructions on how to do it themselves. But she's just like that kind of person. She loves testing and figuring things out, and I personally hate that stuff. So I love people like her because she's done all of that. And then now, you know, if it's something I need to do, then I can use her knowledge and, you know, instructions and do it myself.
That's cool. Well,
yeah, she's great.
Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you so much.
Sounds like she should be a future guest.
Ooh, definitely. Yeah.
Sounds like she has a lot of knowledge that
Add
she can
that
share.
to the list.
Add her to the list.
So that's a good transition into reminding everybody that, you know, if you like the podcast, if you listen every week,
and would like to support.
Yeah, right. And that's just the perfect way, to help us out. There's as little as $4, which, unless you're going to 7-Eleven, you can't even get a coffee for that amount. And as much as $12. So all that information is on the Patreon site. All the information is in the Facebook group for like a link. But it's Patreon, patreon.com, /The Riley Black Project. So that's one way. Another way, if you're searching for your first laser or your next upgrade and you're looking into any of the Eon, it's always hard for me to say because it starts with an A.
Right.
The Eon lasers, I am now an affiliate. And so I will add that information to the group as a pinned post, so it's pinned to the top. So you can check that out if you're in, you know, shopping for your first or your next laser. And that's just, again, another way, you know, if you appreciate our content, and want to support us, then you click on that link
and it'll help us, you know, make things better and better gear and get you into the garage so I can have a podcast studio.
Get us that much closer to
video
to
and
big goals.
to big stuff.
So today we have on MJ Torres. We're going to call her in a second. And I actually don't know her personally. So I know her throughout the group. I've seen her name. We've probably commented, you know, we've definitely commented to each other within the groups. But she's Cindy's friend. So she just recently opened up a brick and mortar store.
Oh.
And so this is about a month after she did that, and we're going to get some updates on how it went, how it's going, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So exciting to hear about her journey and all that stuff. So break, and we'll be right back with MJ.
All right, and we're back.
With who?
I don't know. MJ. Michael Jordan.
Well, the first time you said Michael Jackson when I told you MJ.
MJ. I had a brain fart there.
I prefer Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Perfect.
Not Jordan? You're not a Bulls fan?
I haven't played ball in a long time, man.
So, let's see. How do you know me from the groups? Like, we don't know each other. Like, I know you from like commenting on similar things. You have a great sense of humor. I do know that.
Thank you. I try. I think we have that in common. I think we're both. Obviously we're in probably all the same groups,
the same hundreds of groups together.
But yeah. I've seen a lot of your comments. I've seen all the work that you do in That Mom with a Laser. You're the acrylic meme queen. I had to throw the memes in there because you're just on fire with that.
Oh, my gifts. Yes, you love my gifts. I love anybody who supports it, because it's a skill that's not.
It is. It really is. Yes.
It's not everybody has it, and I'm very proud of that skill.
Right. There's a lot of research that goes into that.
You have to know the right keywords to search for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to have the right image in your head.
Yes.
Right. You're only as good as your last gift.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's finding the image that my face is currently doing.
Yeah.
That's what when I search, it's like, what would you call this facial expression that I have right now? Yeah. Let me find
exactly. Absolutely. I am 100% agreement with that. So
no, go ahead.
We know each other from the groups, both a little sassy. I think you stood out a little bit because I was like, okay, she's a mom. Yeah. She's got some tattoos. She's a little sassy. Like I could get down with this.
Yes. Yes. So you have a similar style, I assume?
I am probably almost covered in tattoos.
Love it.
Yeah. I could be a little bit of a sass queen here and there. I kind of tone it down for the laser groups because I'm not I'm not a big shot just yet in there.
I mean, even when it kind of sucks because when you are, I have to be professional with my sass. Like, it's, depending on the audience,
Right. Again, just like the GIF research.
Yeah.
It's a tough job. It's a tough job. I admin a group also, and there's rough days that I just it is. And
you just
unpaid. There's some times where you just want to tell people where to go.
Oh,
but,
man.
You gotta be professional. There's a lot of typing and deleting.
For sure.
Right.
Scrolling past. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel your pain on that.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Cindy actually recommended you as a good person to reach out to. Excuse me. Cindy recommended you because she had been posting about your store, and I don't remember if I was asking. Oh, I don't know. But her and I were talking one day, and she had recommended you as a great person to have on. And I was like, reach out to her, see if she's interested. And she's like, oh yeah, she's totally down. I was like, well, let's do this.
I've come across a lot of really good people in the laser groups.
Yes. Cindy's definitely one of them.
She's totally, she's top
amazing.
Of the list. Top of the list. And I've kind of found my people. Mm-hmm. In the groups,
Yeah.
We had met, we were commenting on the same things, we started messaging each other, and we just really had kind of like the same background.
Yeah.
Similar upbringings. And we just clicked, man. She's just fantastic. And she ended up helping me on a really big project. I mean, I was like totally in the shit with this thing. And I'm like, look, man, I need your help. And she came through for me. I went to her house. I met her.
I love that.
She's as adorable in person as she is.
I want to meet her in person so bad.
No, let me tell you something. She is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
Super cute, like very fun. And she's just like super genuine. And I'm really glad that she and I met.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody who's met Cindy feels the same way, unless you're her Amazon delivery girl. Everybody else, everybody else loves Cindy. I'm pretty sure.
No, she's great, man. She really is. I have nothing but good things to say about her. And we only live like an hour away from each other.
Nice.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to, I scheduled this one because I wanted it to be about a month from when your brick and mortar store opened. But before we talk about that part, what's your background? When did you start? What were you doing before? That kind of stuff.
So it's a little nuts. It's a little bit of a roller coaster. I mean, I'll go back a little bit further. I won't give you guys the whole juicy life story. That could be for another another podcast, somewhere down the line. But everybody in my family always worked with their hands. Since I was a kid, I always took things apart, put them together. I was very much into the arts. Went to high school, college, ditched college because I got a job in event production in the event world. Okay. I'm from the tri-state area. So, I got into New York, that industry, and I made really good money at a young age. So I stayed there for a while, and I was really taken back by all the work that went into it, set design, putting up, what goes in. We did the Grammys, you know what I'm saying? All the work and all the art and all the stuff that went into this was just so cool to me, So, somewhere down the line, I started doing some things on my own. Obviously, I started with the friggin' Cricut.
A lot of us do.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was the best thing in the world. I had this grand idea that I was going to make t-shirts.
Everyone makes t-shirts.
Yeah.
T-shirts.
With a Cricut, no less, right? I was going to mass produce.
I have PTSD from t-shirts.
It's the worst thing in the world.
It really is.
I mean, unless you're set up to do screen printing or you have some $20,000, piece of equipment to make shirts, you ain't doing it with a Cricut.
I mean, so I can't, it's kind of like a Glowforge for me because I can't knock where I started because
you wouldn't be where you are.
Exactly. Making t-shirts as much as they fucking suck. Sure, it has its faults and it's slow or whatever, but it gave me my audience, my start, that's how I started making designs. That's how I realized I liked the design part. And it gave me a good solid base. And although I don't know how I made any damn money because I was basically paying myself nothing when it comes down to it because of all the work that goes into it. And you can only charge so much for one t-shirt. So, but it gave me my start. So as much as I'll say, as much as it has its crappy parts, it was a good start, but.
I mean, and I agree. I mean, if I hadn't purchased the Cricut, I probably would have never gotten a little bit further, went to the next step with it, right? So I'm here in a walk-in closet with a Cricut with my kids screaming, and I'm like, I'm gonna pump out all these cool shirts,
right?
And I'm like, a couple months down the road, I'm like, this is not working, So I start buying, I met somebody that had wood scraps, right? So I start putting things on that, start making stencils with my Cricut, start doing that stuff. And then I realized that I like working with wood. So, you know, I start doing what everybody else was doing, was making like range covers.
Oh,
you know
right,
what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what those are, babe?
Range covers?
Yeah.
I'm guessing for the stove.
Yeah. So it's like a big piece of wood that you put on top of the stove when you're not using it. Well, obviously when you're not using it.
Oh, it's not when you are using it to get that smoky flavor?
No.
Not unless you're at my house and leave the stove on. By the way, they
I'm sure it's been done.
Right.
They burn very slowly.
Oh,
that's all I'm going to say.
It's a nice slow burn. Gives the house a nice maple smell.
Jesus. So I start making those, right? And the first batch comes out like complete garbage because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to Home Depot and I'm like, this looks like it should be on a stove. You know, and you learn, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I start making them and they start coming out a little bit nicer. And my friend, you know, my very best friend, she's my cheerleader. I love her to death. And she goes like, listen, you're going to make these, like, we're going to sell them, you know, because you start to get like, I'm not making any money. Like, what am I doing here? I'm wasting my time. I'm buying these things. I could just, you know, be doing something else.
Well, especially when you're like self-taught.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Well, and even if you see people do it in the groups, even if they share a lot, they can't share skill.
Right.
So they can tell you exactly how they did it, but the first time you do it, even if they give you like the best instructions, your first one is not going to be like the one they're showing you. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Right. You know, I started, you know, I got good at it, or at least I thought I did. And, you know, I started selling them, and my friend, who's got like, you know, a pretty good following, she owns a couple of businesses, started like reposting things for me. We ended up selling. Yeah, no, she's great. It really was because of her. We ended up selling like 150 of these things.
Wow.
Like, yeah, within a couple weeks. I think everybody in like northern, it was nuts. It was nuts. Everybody in northern New Jersey has a range cover for me.
I love it.
That's nice.
You know, we were packing them in my car and, you know, delivering them everywhere. And then I, you know, quickly realized that, you know, I shouldn't be delivering things because that cuts my profit.
Right.
So again, you know, step by step, you learn new things. You know, and again, like my love for working with wood, like just kept growing and growing. And I'm like, you know, what else can I do? What else can I do? And you're really limited when you just have a Cricut and, you know, a Home Depot 10 minutes away from you.
Right.
So, you know, I kept telling my husband, like, I really want to buy a laser. Like, I really think that this is going to be good for us. And he's like, well, you know, you're not really making any money. You're not making a lot of it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it comes in and it goes right back out.
Right.
Right. So I researched it. You know, I chose the Glowforge, or in my head I did. I put it in my cart about 100 times, never bought it.
Right.
Right. And then the pandemic happened. Right. And, you know, my 18-year career was gone within a matter of a couple weeks. I was on maternity leave with my youngest son, and I got a call that was it. They laid off the whole senior staff.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a week before I was supposed to go back to work off maternity leave.
Oh, that's comforting, right, when you're going through all those hormones. And
it was, I mean, listen, I don't like to talk trash about former employees, but these people deserve it. They treated me like complete shit the whole time I was there. I was just there, you know, it paid the bills, so I stayed there.
Yeah. So blessing in disguise, though, like, now that you're out of that spot.
Listen, what I will never change anything. Yeah. What I took from that is what I never want in my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It made me want to be my own boss.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate it. You know,
for sure.
Looking back at it, I appreciate it. So, you know, I got canned, and I said to my husband, I don't care what you say. I'm taking whatever I have in the 401k. I'm buying this laser. I'm buying all the shit that people tell me that I need to buy.
All the things.
And yep. And I'm doing it. And I did it. And,
awesome.
Within a couple of months, I was doing some like farmers markets and stuff like that with my cricket stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Within a couple of months, I had, 5 tables worth of stuff that was done with the laser, and it just went nuts. And I think that, although this pandemic has been insane, it's been kind of bittersweet for me because,
me too.
Same.
I just blew up.
Mm-hmm.
I blew up. I was doing, I ended up doing like 90 to 100 shows a year.
Wow.
For that year. And
shows.
I was just like, and that's what
no.
Listen,
work.
Yeah.
I damn near died a couple of times.
I bet.
From
Setting up,
it was terrible.
breaking down.
Oh.
No,
Lugging
absolutely
everything
terrible.
around. Oh, man.
The show that I made $0 after I went to Taco Bell after one show. The like $10 I made over like the booth fee.
Right.
I spent more than that at Taco Bell because I hadn't eaten all fucking day because I was at that stupid booth. And there was positives in that, like I met great people, I met future customers, I met the future place that I actually went and like had my consignment with that I don't have anymore. But like, so they're beneficial and they're great, like to the people who like doing them, who like, can work hard and have like a great booth and, sell hundreds to thousands every single show. Mm-hmm. But I just realized the booths weren't for me, for sure.
That, and also like when you're starting out, how do you know where you should be? Is this market good for me?
I don't like about the shows is that if you plan on 20 of these selling, you'll sell 1. If you plan on 1 of these selling, you'll have 20 more people who want them and you don't have them. That's what drove me crazy about it was like, it's like, you can kind of know, but like, you just, and it'll be the same exact show. Like, if it's like a 2-day show, you'll have one day where this item is your bestseller that day. And then the following day at the same exact place, but it's just Sunday instead of Saturday.
It's a different group of people.
Yeah. And Sunday people like this ornament, but Saturday people like this ornament. Yeah. And that was just too much for me because like you spend all this time prepping for it and making all of these things. And the whole time you're making those things, you're like, I really hope these things sell because now otherwise I have to figure out how to sell them,
somewhere else.
If they don't or,
Right.
So,
No, there was a lot of times where I went home feeling like completely defeated.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I stayed up all these nights. I worked so hard making these things that I thought people would love.
Right.
And, nobody even blinked an eye.
But then you also, I'm sure, had the shows that were like, kicked ass.
Runs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was, like I said, very unpredictable, but like I knew I had to do it because at that moment, it was the only thing that I could do so people can see me. I needed exposure.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And they're very good for that. Even if you make 0 sales, the networking that you get, even just with other like crafty people. There was like, I remember walking around one show and there was like another Glowforge owner and I was looking at her stuff and we became friends. And then there was like another one where she was selling signs that were clearly made, with a cricket or silhouette. And I'm like, hey, if you need some 3D wood pieces, I'm your girl. Little things like that like you wouldn't get if you didn't go.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was another big part of it too. I made some really good friends, my fellow vendors and, people would ask like, hey, anybody that, makes this or makes that or, 3D things or, works with wood and, they would recommend me and, that just kind of like builds and builds. And, that's what ended up happening. I got to a point where, I would get like random emails from people saying like, hey, can you please come to our show? Like, we really like your stuff.
That's awesome.
We heard about you. Can you please come, here or there? So that felt good, you know what I mean? But still, the markets were completely unpredictable. You know, I'm standing outside in 100 degrees. Ugh. You know, I'm a little chunky, so that like didn't work for me, man, you know?
It really doesn't.
It wasn't good, you know? My husband did some of them, bless his soul. He's like 6'4", 280 pounds. That poor dude.
John did one for me when I was early pregnant, but yours was inside. You got lucky with the one that you did for me.
Yeah, I mean, I got lucky, but it was all women.
This is true. It was a girl boss event.
It's a girl boss event, and here I am. Like, oh yeah, I just transitioned. Like,
I mean, listen. At one point, I didn't even care. You know, like I got this. You know, my husband's super loud Puerto Rican. You know, we're up in like ritzy titsy Ocean County, New Jersey, right? And he's like, "Hey, come in here. I don't bite. Come on, girl. Come look at this."
I love
Cat
it.
calling.
And you know, it kind of worked. But it was tough. But it became tough. We were doing shows Thursday, Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday, and this was every week.
I'm exhausted thinking about it.
No, it was terrible. And you know, I have 3 sons. Mm-hmm.
Boy mom.
Yeah, super boy mom. We actually have 5 sons together.
Oh,
he has 2 sons. Yeah, 2
That's
sons
a
from her
stinky
previous
house.
marriage.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
No, it is. No, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. Between the boys and the dog, I don't know. Like, I don't.
Right.
You know. Sometimes I just gotta take a drive to Target.
Is the dog male too?
No, she's a girl.
Okay.
I have another.
Same.
I have a dog and a bird, and they're both female. I will not allow another set in my house.
I agree. Yeah, we have a pig, and she's female as well. So, and if we get a dog, you don't want a pig. No. I mean, okay, so
you might really think about it.
Side note, they are awesome and adorable. They're very, very smart, which is good and bad. And they're toddlers for life.
Yeah.
So it's it's like, do you want to sign up for that? Because they have the good and bad parts of like a toddler.
And they constantly test things.
Oh yeah, like what can I do?
Ours broke out.
Oh, we need to post it in the group about that.
So she broke out of the pen, out of the door.
I'm honestly surprised it took that long. Though.
And so I saw the door like pushed open, but when I went to go feed her one morning, and then but she was still in her area, so I figured she pushed it open but didn't get out. And then the next day, I'm getting her stuff ready, like her food ready to go feed her in the day. And I just happened to glance out our kitchen window onto the deck, our pool deck, and right where the screen is kind of broken before all this, right where the screen is kind of broken, I see pig poop on the deck. And I'm like, "Oh, she got out."
And
did did a lap and then just went back because she must have known that food was coming and she didn't want to get caught.
Oh my god!
So
amazing.
I'm telling Crystal this, and now we're both in the kitchen.
We're literally standing in the kitchen,
and we hear grunts a lot closer than they should be.
Right. So because where she's at, you wouldn't be able to hear her nearly that clearly.
She's almost on the other side of the house, on the opposite side. So we go and look. We go to the sliding glass door, and who meets us at the sliding glass door?
Piggy.
Our 70-something pound pig.
AKA Piggy
Smalls. So it's not that.
Come on, Piggy Smalls.
Piggy Smalls.
The notorious PIG. So it's not that she's got open range to the backyard.
Right.
And it's not that like she can like get out. Our main concern is we have a pool.
don't forget though that she has gotten out.
And she.
Do you want to talk about the fact that I chased down the road?
But that's because the side door was open because we had just moved in.
Yeah, we had just moved in and she got out because the gate, our actual gate was open.
Right.
And we're the new minority in our neighborhood, and I'm the white lady running down
in a Jamaican neighborhood.
Yes, running down our Jamaican neighbor at the time. My friend got home from work, and our Jamaican neighbor pulls up to her, and she's like, "Do you have a pig? Because there's a pig walking down the street." And she's like, "My friend does," and she was like, yeah, your pig's walking down the street. And so I go running after the pig down the street in my slippers, get her, you have the leash, and I'm walking her back to the house. Thankfully, she hadn't gotten too far, and thankfully our neighbor knew it had to be these new white people in the neighborhood who have this pig as a pet. And she was like, she goes, you're lucky. What'd she say? You're lucky I'm Jamaican.
Yeah,
we don't eat pork.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, thankfully the Cuban and the Puerto Ricans didn't see her first.
Right.
No.
So the main concern is
definitely keep her away from the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans.
Right.
Yeah. So our main concern of her getting loose in the backyard is that she'll end up we'll look in the pool and she's at the bottom because she can't swim. From what we know, she can't swim.
Right.
She definitely can't touch the bottom of the pool. And then of course on the side she will demolish all the pool pump and filter and all that stuff.
Yeah, they're very
or the AC compressor because it's not, we don't have it set up for her to be loose in the back.
Yeah.
So that's our main concern. But saying that being said, I kind of rigged it back to keep her, but she has tested the door every day. She knows that she got out once that way.
Yeah.
So now she tests it every single day.
Yeah.
Because she knows it's possible because it might happen again.
Because it happened, right. If it happened once, it can happen again. So now she tests it, and they test things all the time like that.
And one side note was when, so he went to his car to go grab zip ties, and he had to bring her with her on her leash, because
she wouldn't stay in there.
Was broken. And so while he was taking her there was a mat that it's our doormat now, but we used to use it to feed her oatmeal. You'd throw the oatmeal on there and she'd have to it was like a game. She'd have to work to get the oatmeal. She hasn't done that in 4 years. And at least 4 years, she went straight to that mat and was looking for oatmeal.
She would not move.
She was like, there's got to be food here because there was food here 4 years ago.
Right.
They're super smart. They're, I don't know. I love them, but they are a lot more work than I think we knew that they would be.
Yeah.
But, all of that to say, she's our female pet.
Yeah,
and you definitely want to do your homework about a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of good for that though. I put myself in, crazy situations. I just keep popping out kids because why not? I'm 40 with an 18-month-old. Yeah. So, he's gonna, he'll be 2 and 3 soon. So obviously I have to.
Okay, so get a pig.
Get something else in the house to drive me crazy.
Hey, I think that'll be perfect. And they're really cute when they're babies. So, they're cute all the time, actually, but super cute when they're piglets.
And don't worry, you can still eat all the bacon you want. You can still do all that.
I might have to cave and get a male pig because my dream, and I say this with 100% honesty, this is my dream, is to have a pig named Kevin Bacon.
There's many pigs.
There's a lot of Kevin Bacon.
Named Kevin Bacon.
I know, and it's all I want.
It's great.
It's all I want.
Actually, there's some just named really Kevin. Is. They don't do the bacon; they just name him Kevin, so that you get the joke.
Right.
Oh man, that's great.
So where were we going with all the
Well, she has a glow forge. She was working booths.
Yes.
With 3 boys, technically 5.
Lots of boys.
No.
So, baby. So started, you know, I was still doing the show, started, you know, making more things, you know, getting my name out there and stuff. My son, my oldest son, he's autistic, and he helps me a lot with the stuff that I make. Because it's, you know, it's calming for him. You know what I mean? He's my he's my chief earring maker. He's pretty damn good at it too. He looks at me one day. He goes, "Mommy, are we gonna have like a store?"
Oh.
And I had thought about it, but I really wasn't like making
the
enough
moves.
money. Yeah. Like, and in this area, rent is super, super high. I hadn't, you know, I thought about it, but never really considered it. Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, we kept talking about it, and, you know, he would get like super emotional, and like, I guess that's what he saw. That's where he saw this going. Like, he wanted this for us. And, you know, obviously my other son kind of followed him with it. Mommy, are we going to have a store? And, you know, I kind of looked at them one day. I said, you know what? Yeah, we're going to have a store one day.
I love that.
Mommy's going to, you know, we're going to have a store one day, and you guys are going to come in, and this is what it's going to be. So, you know, at that point, I made a decision that, like, I was never going to go back and work for somebody.
Yes. I love when you hit that point. I just hit that realization, like, a couple months ago. Not, like... I knew it, but I kind of, like, said it out loud. I think I was talking to, like, a friend, and they were talking about, like, their schedule or their bosses that sucked or something, and I was like, you know what? I can't go back and work for someone. I can't do it. I will never do it again. Like, it sucks, like, you know, you work 24/7, but you work 24/7 for yourself and your family instead of for someone else.
Right. You know, like I said, I got treated like complete garbage, you know, the whole time. And that whole industry is just like a total shit show. You know, everybody's just miserable, and, you know, a lot of people think that it's very glamorous and stuff like that. I hate celebrities now. Like, I just hate that. No, it's all so gross. Yeah. And, you know, I got a lot of time stolen from my children. You know what I mean? I missed a lot of stuff. My kids were always in daycare. I mean, I used to bring my son with me to the office, and he'd sit there until 10 o'clock at night, sleep at my table. And why was I doing this? Because I thought that I needed to make this money. Like, I need to make money, you know, provide a future for my kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were doing the best with what you had at the time. I mean,
and you kind of get vision. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. This is where I'm going to be. This is it. You know. You get comfortable. And then, you know, like I said, when me and the kids started talking about the store and stuff, you know, I started thinking about it, and I'm just like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not going to go back and work for somebody, you know, so that they can tell me when I can and cannot spend time with my family. You know what I mean? I mean, I could do this, you know? Yes, definitely. So I just started, like, busting my ass, you know, staying up late, doing more shows, trying to get my Etsy shop, like, up and running, which still kind of sucks, but whatever. Just, you know, still just trying to put my name out there. And you know, I was up one night, and I'm just, like, Googling, like, storefronts, like, what's the rent and stuff like that, and I'm like, I totally can't afford this, you know. And then I came across this ad for it's called the Downtown Shops in Toms River. I live in Toms River, New Jersey. So I said, okay. And what they do is they help small businesses. They're trying to revitalize the downtown area of Toms River. You know, I'm at the Jersey Shore. You know, the pandemic hit this area pretty hard.
I bet, yeah.
So they're trying to revive. Nonprofit came in, and they're trying to revitalize the area. So what they did was provide a retail space to small businesses for a cheaper rate per month, and they help you grow your business. And once they think that you're ready, they will cut you off. Find, no. You know, well, yeah, sort of. You know, they kind of give you your wings and you know, help you find some place in the area that's sort of like a standalone.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Retail store, right? So there's like 5 shops in this little, like, strip mall thing. And it's the same size as, you know, a regular shop. Rent is super cheap. We have, like, monthly meetings. How are your sales doing? You know, they use their grant money to promote us.
Nice.
Which is fantastic, you know. And it's been great so far. It's been really great. And to be able to have the kids come to, and I'm using finger quotes, mommy's store.
Right. Yeah.
Like, how cool is that, man?
Yeah, it's super cool.
You know, their little eyes light up, and honestly, I could give two shits if I make enough money or not, as long as they're happy.
Yeah.
And I get to spend all the time with my boys that I can. That's what matters the most.
Well, and think about it. Say you have to bring your kids to the store. You're bringing the kids to your store.
Right.
You know, like you can bring them and you can entertain them how you need to.
Oh, am I going to be able to?
Exactly. Yeah. It's and because they see that it's your dream, but it's also clearly their dream as well. They're, you know, all right, let's go to mommy's store. You know, mommy's making it happen. I kept asking mommy if she made the store. Now she made it happen. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah, no, we're my husband and I are really big on teaching the kids that, like, you can, you know, I know this is very like textbook or whatever.
Yeah.
But like you can really, the sky is the limit. You can do anything you want.
Right.
Yep. Totally.
You know, my husband is we're blue collar family. You know what I mean? I met him in production, and he always wanted to be a welder. So I said, well, get your ass into the apprenticeship. Yeah, get your ass into the apprenticeship, and let's do this if this is what you want to do. So we kind of sucked wind for a couple of years, and you know, now he's a journeyman, and he's doing great.
That's so awesome.
And I think that's amazing for the boys to see, like, mommy and daddy are just kind of taking their dreams and running with it and actually doing it, like actually doing it. You know, I when I had my second son, you know, my lovely job was still screwing me. They happened to screw up my maternity leave paperwork, right? Mm-hmm. And this was a time where my husband was still doing his apprenticeship. We're super tight on money.
Yeah.
I didn't get paid maternity leave money for like 5 months.
Ooh.
So we were at a point where I was like, I don't know where I'm going to get my next gallon of milk.
Right.
Yeah.
This is where we were at. So I decided to go back to school and finish my degree, my teaching degree. Mm-hmm. So I knew this was going to take forever. And in the middle of it, you know, the pandemic happened and everything. So I said, screw this. I'm not going to be a teacher. I'm not like going to sit on Zoom and, you know, wear a mask and teach kids their ABCs. I'm not doing this. So I switched it because, you know, like I said, my son is autistic and I really wanted to learn how his brain worked. Mm-hmm. So I ended up graduating this summer. Congrats. With a degree in psychology.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, like the big thing is I don't tell people this and I don't do it to be like, hey, look at me, look what I did.
Yeah.
I want people to know that, like, you know, you can come from a pretty shitty situation and turn it around completely if you really want to do something.
I mean, the last like 3 people that we had on the show all got their big hit, like big kind of boost during the pandemic. The pandemic kind of like completely fucked their plans, and it made them then start this journey. And it then turned out to be everything they thought it would be plus some.
Well,
like,
I feel like
Jenna,
I feel like
hers.
The biggest fear when you have this in the back of your mind that you want to start your own business, that you want to do this. The biggest fear is leaving your
current position,
current steady 9 to 5 or whatever your schedule is, but leaving the security of a constant paycheck for this to possibly fail.
Right.
What the pandemic did was force your hand and be like, well, look, this can fail too.
Yes.
And here it is, it failed. Now go follow your dream.
Well, and for us, it was moving to another state. I had to quit my job. I actually damn near begged them to let me work remote out here, which is kind of funny because then not too long after the pandemic happened, and literally everyone was remote, but they absolutely refused to let me do it remote. I'm like, I know it's possible. I've done it a few days here and there when we either had to because of weather or because of, you know, whatever. And I'm like, what I do does not require me to be in the office.
Well, technically, you were remote because your department was in Houston.
Exactly.
We were in Denver. So, I mean, we
right,
kind
so
of already were.
And that's what I use that too. I'm like, I'm technically already remote to you guys anyway. I would literally just be in Florida instead of Denver. But, you know, whatever. So they weren't down for it. But thank goodness they weren't, because that would have taken time and energy away from, you know, me doing this business. And I kind of just had to, it forced me to like just really concentrate on it. And I hope at the very least that all of these stories show them like, you don't necessarily have to wait for like life to take it away from you for you to try it. I definitely
needed it. I'm very good friends with some of the people that I used to work with. They're actually my kids' godparents. That's how much time we spent together and you know, built a friendship, because I had no life, you know, outside of work. And they would always tell me like, come on, man, you got to get out of here. Like, you're so much better than this. Like, just get out. It's miserable. And, you know, it was a steady paycheck, and I was very afraid that I was going to, like, you know, financially hurt my family if I made a decision like that, you know? And, you know, sometimes you still feel like that. I mean, yes, I have a store. Yes, you know, I've been getting, you know, some good sales. But I'm not like rolling in the dough right now.
Yeah, that was what I was just about to say.
You know, a couple of months ago, I was still bleeding money. You know, because you got to buy materials. You have to buy, you know, I'm buying displays for the store. I'm doing all these things.
Right.
And, you know, like I said, like sometimes you sit down and you're like, is this the right thing? Like, am I actually taking money away from my family right now?
Going through that now is because there's actually this course that I want to take, but it's really expensive. And I have the money, but it would take my account down to like lower than I want it to be, which again, for comparison, is way bigger than where I started. I remember, you know, when I had $600 in my business account, and I was like, oh my God, I have $600. And then I got to like 1,000, and I was like, oh, I hit 1,000. And so like in comparison, I'm good, but it's still super scary because now I've become accustomed to a different set, because, you know, especially me selling those keychain thingies and stuff, like I have to have money like ready to up my supply and my inventory and, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's like, I know that this will, I think it will be a good move for my business, but it's still scary. I haven't pushed that button yet. And I know that I'm probably gonna do it, but it's taken a whole lot of thinking on it for me, because I'm just like, what if this is a really expensive mistake? So, you know, even all the preaching we do, it's like I'm struggling with pushing that button right now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It definitely keeps you up at night thinking, you know, and, you know, this store, you know, it pays my mortgage. Like it has to, like, this is my job now. I have to replace a salary.
Right.
You know, obviously I'm not even close to replacing it, but you know.
I'm still not yet, but let's compare now. Like, I also made really good money at my job before this job now, and I'm not even close to making, I mean, I guess I can't say I'm not even close as far as if we count sales, not actual profits. I'm like 50% of what I was making. So it's like, it's not like I'm not there, but I'm not necessarily super far away. But what I've realized in making that change is I am so much happier on a third of the money than I was on 3 times the money. Like,
I really wish that you guys can get like some people that knew me years ago on this podcast to like just confirm.
Right.
Because I was a miserable woman a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Pissed off at everything. You know, super negative. This isn't going to work. This will never happen. I'm not doing this. You know, just a miserable person to the point that like people didn't want to be around me.
You. Yeah.
Right. And now I'm like a goddamn ray of sunshine.
Right. Yeah.
No, really. Like my marriage is great. You know, my marriage is great. My kids are happy. You know, we still, you know, we got the same issues everybody else has, but we deal with them differently now.
Right.
And that makes a difference, man.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Yeah.
That really makes a difference on how successful you're going to be. You just got to be like happy and work hard, and like there's really not much else to it.
Well, it kind of redefines success.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because it's not a number game. It's not a number game. It's a feeling. It's how are you when you come home? Or, you know, I mean, in your case, you don't leave home, but.
Right. I know.
But like how, you know, like just your overall, like you say, you're a ray of sunshine compared to what you were when you were making decent money and having, you know, so it's like, it just redefines success. Yeah. Because before, you know, when you go into it, success is like a number. Yeah. It's like you need X amount of dollars,
$100,000
a year
or,
to be happy.
Right.
Or to be, you know, to be successful. And that's not really the case. No. As long as you have like a roof over your head, all your stuff is being met. Yeah. And you have time to spend with the family, like,
well, that, even just think about like you, John, like when we first moved when we first moved out here, you went back to your old station, and unfortunately that station is run a little bit. It's not family.
Yes, I know where you're going, but I wasn't necessarily unhappy at the station.
No, not at all. And I'm not saying that.
I didn't know how happy I could be until I made the move to this new station.
And that's what I'm saying is that where at that station was more of like a money maker. Like
it's known as a sweatshop. It's okay. It's known as a sweatshop.
Yeah, I mean, and there was all the overtime you could get if you wanted it. Right. And
did we work for the same company?
So no, but we worked in similar industries. I work in news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's terrible, man.
Yeah, so he loved what he was doing, but unfortunately it caused kind of some issues between him and I, and to a certain extent, because it was like, oh, they want me to do a double today, or they want me to work Sunday. Oh, they also want me to work Monday. Right. And it's like, you know, when he picks up a shift, that means I also pick up a shift because I'm home with the kids all the time. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, it was only one kid then, but like that's when he's off, that's my break. And that's when I get to work, and that's when I get to have a little less kids. It's not like 100% kid free because I'm in the home, but you know, it was like, okay, you're working, then I also get no break, and I'm losing my mind. So when he made the switch, you know, we also had that huge panic because he was actually making the switch to less money and less overtime. But this job was more family oriented. He had, you know, more time off, and benefits are better. Yeah, he got actual 2 weeks paternal leave at this new company, which is like
essentially numbers of. When it goes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, when you go to numbers, numbers stayed pretty much the same. What was taken away was the abundance of overtime. That's what was taken away, and the other station, that's where we all made like our real money is in overtime, because it was basically just given away. It's there for you to take if you want. Yeah. But it's expected. It's expected versus like not expected. Like I'm asked to work. Yeah, it's offered. Where over there is like, if I turn 2 down, I'm now deemed unreliable.
Having a bad dream there, buddy? What's going on?
So yeah, it's different. And then it's also you add we had just moved here, and we went from 2 incomes to 1 income.
Right.
We ended up, not getting too much in the weeds, but our mortgage wasn't exactly what we pictured it. It was a little
low
more
as we had planned it to
be. And then we lost our roommate, which was supposed to help us, which was supposed to contribute to that number.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things, and I mean, no love was lost by losing the roommate. Like, we're still great friends. She's visiting soon. But again, there were a lot of factors that made the overtime like, well, we need the money. I understand she's going to be mad because I accepted it, but when things are paid, it's going to be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So. I mean, and that, like, when my husband and I were both working in production, imagine it's New York Fashion Week, right? Everybody's crazy. Yeah. Everything's happening. And we both work for the same company. And now I have a last minute order. I'm at work or I'm at home working. Mm-hmm. It's who I have to dispatch to go make that happen. My husband.
Yeah.
Right. So here I am working my ass off. Not, I don't remember what my kids look like. and I have to make the decision to send my husband away.
Yeah.
To work.
Yeah.
Because there's always a reason for you to need the money. Right. Mm-hmm. And B, we didn't want to lose our jobs.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that was really, really tough. And then, what I realized though is all the money that we spent on traveling. Mm-hmm. I drove to New York every day. He drove to New York every day, 1.5-hour drive. We were always upside down in our car payments because, we put like 100,000 miles on our car in a year.
Yeah.
I had calculated it, like really sat down and looked at the numbers. I paid $36,000 one year in childcare.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the New York area.
Yeah.
Imagine what that costs to take care of 3 children just so you can go to work.
Yeah, exactly.
So really, all I needed, what I thought I needed to replace as far as income was totally wrong.
Yeah, it was a lot smaller than you were really.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So me not really having to, give my whole life savings to a babysitter anymore.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So what is your husband doing right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
Like right this second? Or
no, currently.
I mean, it's like his job.
He's
what is he doing? Is he watching TV?
He's probably sleeping. He's a journeyman. He's a welder,
that's right. Yes.
And he's in the union.
Awesome.
So
yeah.
He's fully in the union. He still has a shitty commute, but it's fine now. He's like making tons of money.
Yeah, to pay for the commute.
But the big thing is that we're no longer working for a company that requires us to pay $1,000 a month for health insurance.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? This is the union. Like we're at like $5 a paycheck to have like 7 people on health insurance. So that was the big part of it. That was why we made the decision and said like, we'll just eat shit for a little while.
Yeah.
A couple years. You go, you become, you get in the union, you do what you got to do, and then we'll be all right afterwards. You know what I mean? So, without the child care, with him doing well, I really like at 50% at replacing my salary at 50%. We're like probably better than we were before.
Yep.
That's great.
Same. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what's your like future goals? Is it just growing the store? Like, do you have any like crazy outlandish plans of like?
I always have crazy, ridiculous.
Good
ideas,
Yeah.
There's a list of those that live in my head. I really just want to grow the store. A big part of what I'm doing right now, is, like I said, we're in Toms River, New Jersey. We're trying to build up the community. What I really want to do is now that I have a place where I can kind of dictate how it works and what I do and what happens in my store, I'm really trying to showcase, minority makers and artists in that area.
Love that.
So what I'm doing now is I'm having like Maker of the Month in the store. local Hispanic artists, and I'm trying to like help put their name out there. And
that's awesome.
I really think the store is like a wonderful platform to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. And just think of all the people that you're gonna meet doing that.
Oh man, it's great. And like I said, I've met some like really amazing people. I've so many like good friendships. Like if I close the doors now, set my Glowforge on fire and just call it quits.
Yeah.
I'd still be okay with it because I met so many like wonderful people and I've had such a great experience that like I'm good with it. You know what I mean? Another goal of mine is, and it's actually kind of in the works right now, sort of. Within my space, there's an artist community and art gallery in there, and we're trying to collaborate so that we can make a community maker space.
Oh, nice.
Within that building, right? We have a pretty decent sized room that's sort of like a community room. Mm-hmm. And what we're trying to do is get some equipment in there so we can get some of the kids in to, teach them the arts. Our school district has got hit with some pretty big cuts the last years, and we all know the first thing to go is sports and arts.
Right.
And I should say arts and sports, because arts is going first.
Right.
So I really want to give some of the kids like a safe place to come and be creative and kind of do their thing and, just be able to teach people things, because I love that.
Yeah.
And we have some really talented people in that space. So I think we can make it happen.
That's cool.
That's
Totally.
awesome.
I think like short-term goals. I think I really want to, we're going to make that happen this year.
I'm excited to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to do an update episode of everybody.
I don't know, man. There might be a waffle coming. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get these kids a Glowforge.
Where can everybody find you? What's your company name? Where's your store?
I'm on Instagram. Instagram is probably like my biggest thing right now. Facebook too, but I don't really know how to work Facebook for business too well. It's very confusing. But I'm at Craft and Carry Custom. We are located at 53 Main Street in downtown Toms River. If anybody's in the area, they can come on down and say hello.
Say hey. Did you know that she's one of our 4 subscribers?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we mentioned her name last week.
That's right, we did. That's when I started making fun of Michael
MJ.
Jackson.
Thank you. I heard that. I was like, ooh, that's me. No, I think it's great that you guys are doing this. I know that you guys have a lot on your plate, and you add in like a bazillion groups and
way too fucking many.
Obviously, you have the kids. I know what that's like. So, to be able to take some time out of your day and do this and share people's stories, I appreciate that. So anything we can do to support.
It.
And more people support. Come on, let's go.
Please. I mean, I'm honestly shocked that we even have like 4 people who want to pay for us, and 4 people, every single one of the 4 subscribers or patrons or whatever we want to call them, they all did the top level, which again, it's crazy to me, because it's like you worked hard for that $12 that you're now passing on, to us. And it means a lot, because we love doing it too. But I mean, we've done it up until this point for free. I mean, actually for more than free, because, my Riley Black stuff was what was buying the equipment and the upgraded mics and all that kind of stuff. And so, it's awesome that we have the support and that people are actually digging it. And we just hit 5,000 plays. Like it's crazy to me that they've listened to us 5,000 times. It's nuts.
Like 500 of them might have been me, because I can never listen to anything more than 5 minutes. So I have to like go back and
do it again.
Somebody yelling like poop or mommy or whatever.
Hey, keep doing it.
So I might be good for like 500 of those.
Well, we appreciate it.
Of course. No, like I said, I appreciate it. When people take time out of their day and their lives to do something that's not making them money.
Yeah.
how could you not support that, you know?
Yeah. Well, we
appreciate it. We never, we
hope that we're also, we never went into it to be like, we're going to make all these dollars with the podcast.
It was just a fun thing to do.
There's a gap in, you know, that area, and we're like, well, let's see what happens.
Let's explore it.
Honestly, which this is my anxiety brain, and you know, with anything, the reason I can't hit buy on this class that I want to take, but like, I didn't think we were going to get past like 5 or 10 episodes and be like, well, that was cool. We tried it. And now,
how many are you guys up to now?
I think this is our 28th
I think this is episode 28.
Yeah. That's amazing. Again, nuts to me, because my brain told me like, it's not going to go very far.
We do it weekly, where a lot of people do theirs monthly
or monthly. Yeah.
So I mean,
I think weekly is cool. It kind of keeps people like, hey, can't wait till next Saturday. You know what I mean?
Right. Or whenever they listen.
Yeah.
Right. You know, when you do it monthly,
it's
you
a
give
lot
people
of
a chance
time
to like forget about it.
Exactly.
You know, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of sight, out of mind.
I mean, I just listened. I'm halfway through the last one, but because for obvious reasons. But I fully listened to you guys and Will, and he's a riot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a mess, but I love him. You can count on him to bring in the inappropriate comment anytime someone posts something.
No, he's great.
But he's also great on the other side of, you know, always like donating, and he was our first patron, you know, so he's great at that kind of stuff.
And we already mentioned him this month, so we gotta stop talking about him. He already got his one mention.
Hey, Will, you suck.
He got his one mention this month.
Right.
Yeah, right. That's good. No, man, I love all you guys, man. Like, for real, like, you guys are all my people. Like, I have come home.
Awesome.
You guys are just like the perfect mix of like crazy and talented and good-hearted, and that's just like so cool.
I agree. It's really one of my favorite things about just the whole industry in general. When I purchased the laser, I knew absolutely nobody with a laser, and so I kind of like jumped into it, and I knew not a thing. Like, I had stalked, you know, the Glowforge group for a couple months before I actually purchased it. But, you know, other than that, everybody I met through these groups, and it's just exploded into this craziness of what it is. And the community is honestly one of the best parts, because they really do want to see everybody win for the most part. And if you don't, I kick you the fuck out of the groups, because you know, you're a shitty person. So
there's always a bad apple.
There's always one or a few, but thankfully for the most part, for the most part, I mean, I can say, even adminning the group, you know, that there's not many for the most part. You know, the general consensus is we want to see everybody win, and everyone is more than willing to share, you know, what they've learned along the way. So, yeah. Yeah,
and I think that we've all done a pretty good job of like admitting the group and just being like, hey, we don't do that shit here. You know what I mean?
And so what group are you? Is yours a laser group as well?
It is.
Oh, I don't think I'm in this group.
I can't. Girl, you better get it.
Well, what is it?
It's the Laser Elves ornament group.
Yes, I've seen people. Who else is your? I think I've seen another admin or moderator.
Right, I cannot take credit for it. Nicole Jackson, we became really good friends through the laser groups. That's her baby, her idea. We've only had it open for like not even 2 months, and we're at like almost 8,000 members.
Damn!
Wow.
Yeah,
killing it.
Yeah, and then she, you know, again, her idea came up with a file subscription where you're getting 4 exclusive files a month, exclusive for 1 year.
Oh.
From like, you know, the designers that we all know for $15 a month.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's know, a perfect time for it. You know what I mean? Everybody's like Christmas crazy now.
Right.
I'll have to go join.
Like I said, Nicole's great, and she's like, completely obsessed with Christmas, so this is perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after I get off, I'll have to make sure to go pop on in there, because who doesn't need 121 groups to be a part of?
That was another podcast we did.
Yes, it was.
How many groups is too many?
That was another podcast we did, was how many Facebook groups is too many.
Yeah. Right. Man, I was looking for a group. I was like searching for something to post something in it. And I scrolled for so long. And I'm just like, why am I in all these groups? What is this? What am I doing?
Yeah, I mean,
but then I couldn't like delete any of them.
No, I can't unjoin any of them. Exactly.
So I'm hoarding Facebook groups.
Same, girl. Same.
Yeah.
Well, crazy. It was really awesome having you on. You're definitely our people.
It was great.
Keep killing it. Keep making all that money for those boys, and I can't wait to hear how your store continues to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your time, and you made sitting in a Wawa parking lot very exciting.
Yes.
We try. Well,
thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. You know where to find us, The Riley Black Project, on Instagram, Facebook, and now Patreon. Any tidbits you want to let people know about coming up? Any teasers?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, Ryan. Ryan, I think, is on next week. Your hat boy.
But hashtag and free John's hats.
Another subscriber.
Yeah.
Patreon, whatever. And this was not planned. This was not how it you sign up and now you get to be on the shows. They were already scheduled on the show, and then they signed up.
And then we created the page. You created the Patreon, and yeah. All right. Well, Ryan's on. We'll talk. We'll have hat talk. As you saw, if you didn't see more about if you didn't see in the groups, you see where my hats currently live.
In your backpack.
And I threw out an idea of a hat rack.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see what happens with my hats. How long they'll be in that JanSport. But as always, thank you guys for listening. This has been another great episode of the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John
and MJ. Bye.
Mamie, we're all done.